What does this shoe have in common with this avocado? A lot more than you might think. Yo guys, Zachary here for another episode of Toilet Reviews, where we'll be going over the Way of Wade All City 12 Encore in the avocado colorway. Okay, that probably wasn't worth the joke, but anyways. So this is the latest shoe from Way of Wade, and it is the second version of the All City 12 here. So before I get into all the details about the shoe, I need you guys to do me a huge favor and like and comment on this video. I need to get my engagement up so the algorithm promotes my video so I can continue to keep growing and growing. That way I can continue to make videos like this for all of you guys out there. So go ahead and like and comment on this video. I'd really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get straight into this review. So these guys retail for 150 bucks, and I can't exactly remember if that's an increase or decrease from the initial retail price of the All City 12. Now these do come with the exact same box as the All City 12, so no changes there, but the real change is the shoe itself. Like, this is a big departure from the All City 12 in general. Now, like I mentioned before, this is the avocado colorway of the shoe, and from my understanding from what I've read, this is the summer edition of the All City 12 Encore, or the official summer colorway. And there seems to be a trend going with Way of Wade, because last summer I reviewed the Way of Wade 10 lows in the avocado colorway, and then flash forward to today, I got these guys for you. So I don't know what it is with Way of Wade. I guess they put avocados and summer hand in hand, but regardless, this colorway is super clean. I love all the different shades of green and the white that's thrown in there. It's a very, very clean colorway right here. So if you guys don't know, when it comes to Way of Wade, they typically like to do a V2 version of all their shoes. So they'll drop the initial launch pair, then a couple months later they'll drop the V2 version, which normally has performance upgrades without giving you a price increase. They'll keep the price the same, which is awesome. So think of this as like how Nike used to do their Elite series, but in the case of Way of Wade, they're not increasing the price like how Nike used to. Now, this is the Encore version of the All City 12, so I don't know if this counts as a V2 version. Someone can let me know in the comments down below if you do know, but yeah, I really like the direction they're going with this shoe. I mean, the design is definitely a departure from the initial All City 12 here. I mean, it's more streamlined, it's definitely more minimalistic, and there's actually a lot less details on this shoe than I'm used to when it comes to Way of Wade. Normally with those guys, they like to load their shoes up with a lot of different Easter eggs and whatnot, but these guys, they don't really have much, so it's kind of throwing me off a bit here. So I do want to get more into the details, and starting with the outsole, the All City 12 Encore uses the brand's ground control unit, or GCU for short, rubber compound, and it does have a semi-translucent finish to it. Now this is different from the initial All City 12 because those guys use the brand's Tough RB rubber compound. Now, taking a closer look at this outsole pattern, and there is a whole lot going on here. This is definitely non-traditional, but honestly, I feel like it's probably gonna have good performance because with my experience with the GCU outsole in the Way of Wade 11, it was crazy good on clean courts. Maybe not so good on dusty courts, so I'm curious to see how this translucent sort of GCU outsole holds up on dusty courts. You guys can find out for yourself also when I post my traction test video as well as my performance review, so stay tuned for that. But moving on to the cushioning, and what we have here is full length boom foam, exact same setup as the All City 12. Now the implementation of the boom foam is a bit different on the All City 12 Encore. So when it came to the initial All City 12, those guys had the boom foam wrapped up in TPU. But when it comes to these guys, it is housed within this rubber cup sole on the lateral side right here. You can see it peeking out right there, and it has this triangle shape. And then when you move on to the medial side of the shoe, the boom foam is fully exposed right there and actually has some sort of structure to it as well. Now, as far as how these feel from a try-on standpoint, it definitely is comfortable. I can feel slight bounciness in the forefoot area. I will note that the heel portion of the shoe here isn't as plush as the All City 12, but it's still comfortable, and all in all, it just feels like a low-to-the-ground stable setup. Okay, now moving along to the materials, and what we have here is just a lot of textile. It's all over the shoe. We also have some synthetic leather on the toe box area for durability reasons and as well as aesthetic reasons because it has a nice tumbled look to it. You'll notice that on both sides of the shoe we do have some breathable mesh, and that's where you're going to get most of your airflow within the shoes. And I do want to highlight the tongue right here because this is the exact same tongue that was used on the Way of Wade 11, which is also the exact same tongue which was used on the Way of Wade 1s. Now the materials are fairly padded on the inner part of the shoe here, and it does feel pretty comfortable, which I really like because when a shoe doesn't have enough sculpting and padding on the inside of it, I hate it. It just loses all sort of comfort for me. I just like having that cushion on the back part of my heel slash Achilles, I guess there. I'm not too good with anatomy, but yeah, all in all, these materials feel great. I do want to note that depending on the colorway you get will depend on what material set you get as well. So I definitely look into that before you plan on copping a pair of these. I do want to highlight some supportive features the shoes have, and starting things off with this massive freaking heel counter right here. Like, oh my god, this thing is extra thick. Like, golly, this baby's got back for sure. I'm at a loss for words trying to freaking describe this thing to you guys. And then we also do have a really large shank plate right there in the midfoot area, and this thing does extend pretty far up along the shoe, and then it also comes up a bit onto the midsole right here. So that kind of reminds me of how the Kobe 10 had their support set up. So support is going to be a top tier feature of this shoe for sure. And then when it comes to sizing, I would recommend going true to size. These do fit wider than the initial All City 12. They're not nearly as snug, especially in this forefoot area here. I don't feel like my toes are being pushed together, but I don't think this is still the best option for wide footers. For all you wide footers out there, I'd still recommend that you try these on in store if you have the chance to, but if you can't, because obviously these aren't available in local North American retailers, I'd say just do your research online, see on Reddit or other YouTube reviewers and see if they have a wide foot and what they went with their sizing. But overall guys, the All City 12 Encore definitely feels like they're going to be a fun shoe to play with on court. I can't wait to take them out and let you guys know how they're going to perform, so make sure you stay tuned for my performance review and all the different test videos I'm going to post about them. But comment down below and let me know what you think about the shoes. Would you guys wear these over the initial All City 12? And if you have any questions, comment them down below and I'll try my best to get back to you. But we're at that point in the video now, it's time for hashtag Zacharagi. What you rockin'? And for today, I have a special pair here. It's actually two different pairs. So these are the Serious Player Only Player 1 Plus. This is actually sent to me from the brand, so big thank you to them. I will have a first impressions review video out soon for these, so stay tuned for that. But that is it for today, guys. I appreciate you all for watching. I'm signing out. Peace.